It's 7:33 right now. New York City Hall for sale. Well, at least that's the picture prosecutors painted in court as the latest indictments against a former top advisor of Mayor Eric Adams were unsealed.
This all comes just a day after a bribery scandal involving a volunteer, former staffer, in the mayor's re-election campaign. While Mayor Adams is not targeted in any of these investigations, the question is, how will these scandals actually affect his campaign? Right? Here to share his insight, Democratic strategist and president of the government relations firm Polaris, New York, Nicholas Smith. So great to have you here.
Good morning. Great to see you.
Is it Polaris? Polaris.
Polaris.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
It means North Star.
Yeah, there you go. But let's begin with the bribery indictment against Ingrid Lewis-Martin. This is not the first. This is the second time. This is a superseding indictment, now 4 counts. She was once considered one of the most powerful women in City Hall, the chief advisor to Mayor Eric Adams, right? What do you make of this now that here we go again with alleged bribery schemes, and these involve major projects going on in the city?
That's right. I was first deputy public advocate for the city under Public Advocate Williams, and so I had the chance to engage these senior level officials over the years. I was there for 6 years, and so what I kind of saw, I didn't see all this mess, but it's not that surprising. I think the issue is when you're a mayor coming into office, you can't hire your friends just because they're your friends. You've got to hire competent folks. And so I'm sad to say I'm not really surprised that there's a superseding indictment. And these things are just ridiculous. To your point, Dan, the McGinnis Boulevard redesign was done because of safety issues. And there was someone, I think his name was Mr. Jensen, killed on this block years ago. And so the de Blasio team thought they would have a fix. And then the chief advisor, as you mentioned, intervened on behalf of, allegedly, Broadway stages. And so
but for what? When you look at it, it was a major project that could involve safety. And in the indictment, it's alleged that she did this for shrimp and $10,000 worth of seafood and a part, which was 3 words, in this Godfather of Harlem series.
Yeah, I saw that. It always baffles me when I see this happen because the stakes here are relatively low considering what's going on. We're talking about allegations of between $75,000 and $100,000 of bribes total, but you're risking your freedom for not much. So whenever this happens, I get baffled. And then the fact that we have someone who is so high up in the administration really speaks to the importance of vetting officials when you become an executive and making sure that there's a consistent check and balance on ethics and government. So this does not bode well for, unfortunately, Ms. Ingrid Lewis-Martin or Senator Hamilton or the mayor.
Yeah, it's like you can't even make this stuff up.
Yeah.
I mean, then you look at Winnie Greco.
That's right.
I mean, this was just the most bizarre story ever.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a huge fundraiser for Mayor Adams. Now she's been suspended from his campaign because of what she allegedly did, giving a reporter a bag of chips stuffed with cash. I mean, how do these women that we're just now talking about, how have they even been able to have access to the mayor after all of these allegations?
That's right. When the mayor came in, I will say I felt good that he wanted to have to empower women in leadership. He had an all women set of deputy mayors. I thought that was great. But remember something else. They all resigned after a couple of years post the Trump dropping the indictment against the mayor. So I think this doesn't mean good things for women in leadership or black folks in leadership. He's the second black mayor. So this is sad. It's a sad day for the city. It really is.
But Winnie Greco's house was raided.
That's right.
But yet she's still invited to help with the campaign.
That's right.
That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, he comes out and he said, I did ask him about that recently, and I said to him, why would you hire Brianna Suggs back and Winnie Greco? And they kind of couch it with their volunteers, not paid members of the campaign, and then he goes on to say, well, they were never convicted of a crime. So how would you like it if you weren't convicted of a crime? But it said there's a judgment question here.
That's right.
When it comes to folks about all the folks, Winnie Greco, Brianna Suggs, Tim Pearson, I mean, the deputy mayors, Sheena Wright, I mean, all of them that were kind of a focus of investigation as he's now headed towards a re-election campaign potential. He's the 4th in the polls. How does he come out of this? I
don't think he does. I think he began this election season as the underdog based on what happened. I think in his mind, once the indictment against himself was dropped, that he could, as he said, I think even to you all, go out there and press the flesh and make the case. The problem is, there's not just a drip, drip, drip here. There's an avalanche, and you mentioned the names of folks that that have served in leadership. And so he was behind at the beginning of the race. He dropped out of the primary. The incumbent mayor left the Democratic primary because of all this, and he thinks that he's going to be reelected. I'm one voter, but I will say I don't think this inspires confidence among voters that he's got the ethics to get a second term.
Do you think he
and his
drops out?
opponents, go ahead.
Do you think he drops out?
No, he's not going to drop out.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows Mayor Adams knows he won't drop out. But this is indicative of someone who I just think loves the job of being mayor, but never got the essence of ethics in government. It's a problem.
You know what I find very interesting too is that I, including some of the people that I'm friends with, have received, it seems like desperation calls. Like we're getting texts that say the mayor's made mistakes, but still, here's what he's done positively. I mean, like you said, there's really nothing he can. Well, that's what your opinion
That's my opinion.
But is there any lesson to be learned from this?
Absolutely. I think the lesson let me speak to the other candidates in this race. One who was the governor of the state of New York and the other who was in the legislature. I think the core lesson is when you win these elections for these big jobs, don't just look right to your left and right and say, I'm going to hire my friends. You've got to have an agenda and hire the most competent folks that you know will carry the agenda out in the highest ethical standards. And that's the biggest lesson for any candidate for office.
Just got to leave it with a statement from the mayor's spokesperson for his campaign saying that Mayor Adams has not been accused of any wrongdoing. While Ingrid Lewis-Martin no longer works for the administration, she has been a friend and colleague of the mayor for over 40 years. She has declared her innocence, and his prayers are with her and her family. So just wanted to get that in there. He is making some kind of announcement at 10:30. I'm sure he'll be questioned about this. Nick, it's great to see you. Appreciate you coming in. It's going to be a long road to November. I'm going to tell you. That was just a week. That was just the last 2 days. What a year those 2 days were. And Pix 11 is your local election headquarters. Be sure to tune in tonight to Pix on Politics, everybody. Going one-on-one because there's another big thing going on in the city, and that's the Legionnaires outbreak, right? The 6th person just died yesterday. We're going to talk to the health commissioner, the acting health commissioner, Michelle Morris, about this, what the city is doing to get it under control. And then a big race that we're following across the Hudson River is the race for Jersey City mayor, the second biggest city in New Jersey. The leading candidate, James Solomon, he is leading against former Governor Jim McGreevey. We're going to talk to him about how he plans to win. That is tonight at 6:30 p.m., Sunday morning at 7:30.